Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Larry with another video this Friday. So today we're gonna be looking at recursion. This is one of the most difficult topic in programming, and it's very useful when you want to do programs that keep repeating itself. So before we start the video, I want all of you to go like the video and share, because it helps a lot with YouTube's algorithm. And without wasting any more time, let's get in the video. So what is recursion? Recursion is basically a function that keeps calling itself and it just pretty much avoid you to keep repeating code, because as a programmer you don't want to repeat code when it's unnecessary. So I'm going to define a function called rec right here, and I'm going to say, I forgot something, colon, if n equals 0, then I'm going to say return 1, okay? Else, if n isn't equal to 0, I want to say return rec n minus 1, okay? And before this, I'm going to print the value of n. I'm going to run the function, and then I'm going to use it, and then I will explain how it works. So let's use the function. It kind of looks weird for those who have never seen this recursion before, because you just see me using the name of the function in the function. So with that, it's kind of like, what is this dude doing? Does he even know how to code? So let me show you that I didn't make any error. So I'm just gonna say print Python print rec 10. Okay, let's run it. Do you see what's happening? We have it starts with 10, because it prints 10 right here, and then it goes to 9 to 8, 7, 6, etc. Why does it do that? Actually, when you are in Python or in any other programming language, you always want to have what we call in maths and in programming, obviously, the base case. This is the base case of my function. This is what makes my function to stop, okay? And then this is I've divided the work. You always want to divide. It's kind of like you're dividing a huge work in smaller taxes. So I divided my work here. I know the solution for another solution for my function in case my function is equals to 0. So when my function equals to 0, Python knows it has to return 1. Okay, but when my function isn't equals to 0, Python knows that it has to do the number which was given in parameter minus 1. So that's why my function starts with 10, because I gave 10 in parameter right here. And then when the function starts, Python comes here, Python says is n equals 0. It isn't the case, right? Because n is 10, and then it doesn't even enter in here, so it goes to the else statement, and then it comes here and it prints the number n right here. It prints 10, and then it comes here, it calls back the function with 10 minus 1, right? So now we start all over again. Now we start with 9. Is 9 equals to 0? That's not the case. We don't return 1. We go to the else statement, we print 9, which is the case right here, and then we call back the function again with 8. Okay, we will keep calling the function. Python will keep calling this function. This function will keep calling itself until we reach the case n is equals to 0. So when n is equals to 2, we call back the function with n equals to 2. When n is equals to 1, n is not equals to 0, we come here, we print 1. N minus 1 is equals to 0. Now we test n minus 1, which is 0, and then Python returns 1, which is the one right here. and then in this case we don't enter in this case. And if you forget to put the if n equals to 1 right here, if n equals to 0 right here, you have a problem. Okay, and this recursion is very useful. Like if any of y'all know what the factorial is in math, you can do the same thing with factorial, the Fibonacci, and I'm going to show you another example here real quick. And if you do have any problem understanding this recursion stuff, because I know even me, when I started programming, it was very difficult for me. So if you have any error, any question or any difficulty or any difficulties understanding what I'm saying right now, you can just leave it below in the comment section, and I will be more than happy to even try to explain it with a whiteboard or something like that. So I'm going to try to do the factorial function right here. I'm going to say def fact. I'm going to say n. Okay, what is the factorial of like 1? The factorial of 1 is like, the factorial of 1 is 1, and the factorial of 0 is 0. Like if you've seen it in maths, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to say column. Okay, I'm going to say if n, in this case, if n, it's kind of like I'm saying if the factorial, if the like, let's say my friend is asking me what is the factorial of 1, I'm going to say 8. Or if my friend asks me what is the factorial of 0, I'm just going to say the factorial of 0 or 1 is 1, right? I think I'm right. I don't think I'm wrong with that. And then I'm just going to say if we are not in either of this case, we just want to say Python return fact. Just want to say Python return n times fact n minus 1, because when you want to know the factorial of a number, you always take you always multiply the number. Like let's say you have a 1, 2, 3, etc. If you want to know the factorial of let's say 3 in this case, you do 2 times 3 right here, 2 times 3, and then you do the answer you have times 3. That will give you 6. Or if you want to have the factorial of 4, you do 3 times 2, then 6 times 1, and that's 6. You multiply it by 4. That's what this function is doing right here. Okay, so I'm gonna run it. I think I don't have any errors. Then I'm gonna use my function. I'm gonna say what is the factorial? The factorial, we just saw that the factorial of 3 is 6. So I'm gonna say fact. Okay, fact 3. I'm gonna run it, and it gives me 6 right here. If I was to say I don't know if it's gonna work. No, it's not even necessary, because I want to say no, it's not necessary. Or if I say I'm just going to say print. I'm just going to print all of this. I hope I'm not going to have any error, because I've never tested it before. Okay, let's run it. You say it does, this was 2 times 1, and then it did 2 times 1 right here, and then after that it did 2 times 3, it had 6. So that's how it works. When I insert my tree right here, it goes, it tests, Python tests if n, in this case 3 is equals to 1, which is not the case. If 3 is equals to 0, which is not the case, then it doesn't return 1. And then you can still put the else right here, but when you know what you're doing, you don't really need to put the else, because if it doesn't enter in this condition, in this if statement, we just go to this next line of code. And so it just works the same way as if you had an else right here. So after it tested if 3 was equals to 1 or 0, it now goes and does 3 times fact minus 1. What is fact minus 1? What is n minus 1? N minus 1 is 2. And it does the same thing until it either reach the case where n is equals to 1 or n is equals to 0. If I was to say suppose to put right here 0 and run it, it returns 1 because we are in this if statement right here. So this was one of my shortest video, even though recursion is pretty difficult. I don't know if I'm gonna make any other video on recursion, but if you have any comments, please leave it below and I will be more than happy to explain it, even using a whiteboard or anything like that. So I hope you kind of wrapped your head around these things, but don't hesitate. Don't hesitate if you have any problem. Just want to leave it below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for watching, and I will be, by God's grace, next Friday with another video.